FirstCoast.tv, and I find myself with...
My name is Ludi Lelis, and I'm the Court Communications Officer for the 7th Judicial Circuit.
Okay. Now, we're here in the Annex of the courthouse, and there's all this excitement. What is going on here?
Well, we are launching a new Veterans Court here in St. Johns County. It'll be the first such court in St. Augustine, and it's a unique court that aims to help veterans who end up in the criminal justice system because of problems from their service days. They may have PTSD, they may have brain injuries, or other trauma that are,
unique to them.
Unique to veterans, but they've had trouble readjusting back in society. And so they ended up in the criminal justice system. And our view as a court is if we can work closely with these veterans, get them treatment, then they can become law-abiding citizens as civilians.
Right.
And so we have a judge who is actually a West Point graduate and was in the retired colonel.
And his name?
Is Circuit Judge Howard O. McGillin Jr.
Okay.
And he 24 years in the Army, and he'll be presiding over this court. So he understands veterans, he understands, the military life, and so the judge, as presiding over this court, will kind of be the commanding officer. And it becomes a format that the veterans become comfortable with, they're familiar with, they understand it, they can function in it.
All right, and I know this didn't happen overnight.
No, we've been working on this Judge McGillin came onto the bench almost 4 years ago, so that whole time he's been wanting to get this started, but to make sure we have all the community partners in place.
All the partners. Thank you very much.
Okay, great.
You're a treasure trove of information.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, well, we appreciate you coming, so.
We're good, Ludi.
I find myself here with...
Judge Howard McGillin.
Okay. And Judge, how do you feel being part of this new court that is just so important?
Well, this is a great opportunity for our veteran community. It's a way to bring together the judicial efforts and corrections and the discipline side of the justice system, along with the therapeutic and the mending function that our social services and our Veterans Affairs Department can bring to our veterans. Help them heal instead of just warehouse them.
Mm-hmm. Well, I thank you for your service, and I thank you for your service again.
All right, thank you.
I think this is awesome.
We appreciate the support.
All right, thank you again.
Thank you very much. All right. All right. Forward. Hold.
Color. Oh! It's one of those programs where you look at it and say, why didn't we do this years ago? We've got a lot of veterans who are returning back to our communities today, and they're hurting, they're in need. And the one thing we don't want to see these veterans going through the normal court system when what they really need is some help. And we've got the means of doing that with our VA and the capabilities that we have with VA. So many of our veterans who are leaving service today, who are returning home, as I said, suffering from PTSD, TBI, and other physical and emotional maladies that just makes it nearly impossible for them to come back into the communities and to re-enter society and to get employed. Unfortunately, the military just doesn't do a good job of preparing these veterans to enter or to re-enter society today. It's one of those things that many of these veterans have been in a war zone today, and 3 weeks from now they're back in the States being mustered out and dumped back into society. So that's been a major issue for a number of years, especially when you look at the last 10 years, how many, a lot of these veterans have deployed into Iraq or into Afghanistan and various places around the world, some of them on their third, fourth, and fifth tour. So they're coming back and they've got a lot of issues. And unfortunately, a lot of those manifest themselves with these veterans coming back and making some bad decisions. and when they do, unfortunately, they wind up across the street over here in our case, locally here in Sheriff Shores Hotel, and that's not where we want them. We want those veterans to get the help that they need, and to get the VA to be a part of their restoration, if you will, and restoring them back into society, and get them into a position where they're employable. As a result, many of them find themselves, as I said, with a criminal record, and which makes it just exacerbates the problem, because it makes them more unemployable, and tougher for them to go out and get a job to support themselves and to support their families. So you know, it's a situation where with the Veterans Treatment Court, and we've seen it in other counties around us, in Duval County, in Clay County, in Volusia County. This is a program that we know that it works. It was modeled after the drug treatment court, and so we know that that's had some very, very positive results over the years, and so we know that with our observation of looking at the courts, the Veterans Treatment Courts around us and surrounding counties, that it's working. The recidivism of these veterans back into the courts is like 2%. In some cases, 0%. And that's exactly what we want, and that's what we're looking for. So with that, I can't begin to tell you from the standpoint of the veterans community here how important this program is to us. The Veterans Council is extremely grateful to Judge McGillin and to the county court administration. We certainly are appreciative of what the county commissioners have done for us and helping to support this program. And let me just say a word about that. Over the years, every time that I have been to our county commission board and asked for help or for support for anything to do with our veterans in this county, I've gotten that support and I've gotten that help. And for the county commissioners who are here today, I thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. And and I had an opportunity some months ago when I was with the governor to remark to him, this is the friendliest county in the state of Florida as far as our veterans are concerned, and the support that they get. And I didn't get an argument from him. He agreed with me. There is indisputable evidence that these programs work, and there's a cost savings to the taxpayers that the lives have been saved, and productive men and women have been returned back to society. But the bottom line of all of this is it's the right thing for us to do. And so I'm glad that we're here today talking about the launch of our Veterans Treatment Court in St. Johns County, and I thank you all for that. Thank you very much.